Welcome back to the channel. My name's Tom, and today I'm taking a look at a mall that I would say is undeniably dead, or at least the indoor portion of the mall is. This is Fairlane Village Mall in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. And don't forget, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell. I've got a lot more mall videos coming up, as well as store walkthroughs and, of course, flea market videos. Thanks. So this mall opened in August of 1974. But the mall was apparently not fully occupied until sometime in 1975. It was developed by William and Robert Seitzinger. The Seitzinger brothers also owned a car dealership where they sold Ford Fairlanes, which is actually where the name of the mall, Fairlane Village, comes from. The original anchor stores were Boscov's, which was the first anchor to open in 1974. The other original anchor stores, Wilco and McCrory's, as well as a small two-screen movie theater, the Richard Fox 1 and 2 Theater, opened in 1975. And the McCrory's was located right where the Spirit Halloween is today. Over the years, the mall has had 5 different owners. The current owners, Pottsville Commons LLC and Pottsville Mall LLC, purchased the mall in 2016 for $12.8 million. And the mall's been managed by Lexington Realty International since 2019. The mall had its first major renovation in 1995. During that renovation, they increased the size of the Boscov's by about 65,000 square feet. They rebuilt the entrances, added new lighting and the skylights you see today, and also redid the floors and ceilings. I'm not sure if the floors we have today are from 1995, but I wouldn't be surprised because they do look 30 years old to me. But if anybody knows for sure, of course, again, let me know in the comments. The next major renovation occurred between approximately 2018 and 2022. During that renovation, they gutted a large portion of the south wing of the mall, which is the other end of the mall, and replaced it with Dunham Sports, which opened in 2018, and Michael's, which opened in 2022. This reduced the size of the indoor portion of the mall by more than, I would say, a third, and also drastically reduced the number of stores inside the mall, as the space was now taken up by these 2 much larger stores. Back in 1975, the mall had about 48 stores and businesses, including Radio Shack, Zales, and Fashion Bug, whereas today, at least by my count, there's only 9 businesses open within the mall, plus 4 other businesses located in the parking lot that are not physically attached to the mall, but I believe are considered to be a part of the mall. So the mall today appears to consist of only 13 open businesses, at least as far as I could tell. And if anybody knows what used to be in these empty storefronts, please let me know in the comments. Straight ahead on the other side of this wall is Dollar Tree, which is still open, but for whatever reason, there's no way to enter the Dollar Tree from inside the mall. You've got to go out into the parking lot. I guess this counts as the mall's arcade at this point. Now, I wouldn't call these necessarily arcade games, but this one is pretty cool here. Funny Ball, some sort of maze type game, I guess. It's kind of neat. And of course, the vending machine is out of order. So very clearly, the mall today has far fewer stores than it did in its heyday, and even far fewer than it had just a decade ago. And this has, of course, led to far fewer customers, or at least far fewer customers using the indoor portion of the mall. On the other hand, though, the mall's larger stores, including Boscov's, Dunham's, Michael's, TJ Maxx, and Kohl's, seem to be doing fairly well, at least as far as I can tell. So my guess would be that in the future, they may end up gutting the rest of the interior portion of the mall that we're in now and replacing it with more so-called big box stores or larger anchors. But that's a total guess on my part. Straight ahead, the storefront with the wood paneling, that used to be Subway. Not sure exactly when that closed, but I think it was probably within the last 5 to 10 years, maybe. And then this used to be Village Pretzel, which I think has been closed since 2012. On the right, this used to be Valley Sports, and I think that closed fairly recently, within the last few years or so, I believe. And this used to be Hallmark, which I believe closed in 2016. Like I mentioned, up until the most recent renovation starting around 2018, the indoor portion of the mall used to continue past where the Dunham Sports is today and the TJ Maxx beyond it. The TJ Maxx is actually right next to the Dunhams, but you cannot access it from inside the mall. But back in the 1970s, if you kept going straight down the hallway here, you'd eventually get to the original store Wilco, which closed in 1983. It was replaced by GB, which was then replaced by Value City in 1993. Value City closed in 2008, and then it was partially replaced by Kohl's and partially by Michael's in 2012. This looks like a hairdresser's, but I'm honestly not sure if it's still open or not. It's kind of hard to tell. There were actually a couple businesses in here that said they didn't open until later in the week. This was filmed on a Tuesday, and some of the stores, or at least one of them, didn't open until Wednesday. Now, I could be wrong, but I think that used to be K Jewelers in there. And we've actually got an open store. This is HJ Handmade Jewelry. We've got Big Mama's Cafe here. I think this is still open. This is the store that says it doesn't open till Wednesday. On the right, this is or was the Crafty Corner, but I checked their website and they're no longer listed as a tenant. And when I looked them up online, they do show as an open business, but not at the mall. If I'm getting any of the stores wrong as far as whether they're open or closed, I do apologize, but I'm basing this on the mall's website, which I think is at least partially out of date because it has an interactive map on it, and some of the stores that it's saying are still here are clearly not. So if any of this information is wrong, I apologize, but please correct me in the comments. Now, this store I do know is closed because there's a little sign in the window that says the owners decided to retire, but I believe this was a nail salon most recently. Looks like it might have closed last winter because I did see some Christmas decorations up inside there. Coming up on the left, you'll see a business called Diamond Mine. They're not listed on the mall's website, and they definitely don't look to be open. But that's one of those stores where I'm not 100% sure if they are still in business or not. This sign's slightly out of date. It says Fairlane Village Mall, Schuylkill County's favorite local shopping destination, Reader's Choice Award 2013. Yeah, I would say it's no longer the top shopping destination in this area, sadly. Alright, and now coming up on the left is the Spirit Halloween. Like I mentioned, this is where one of the original anchors, or junior anchors, McCrory's, was located. And most recently, it was a shoe store called Super Shoes, which closed in 2023. I did do a very quick walkthrough of that Spirit Halloween, but I didn't want to include it in this video because it's really a totally separate thing than this mall. So what I'll do is I'll put out a separate Spirit Halloween video in the next week or two, which will probably include footage from more than one Spirit Halloween location. So stay tuned for that. Now don't go anywhere yet. As always, we're going to do a drive around of the mall and see what it looks like from the outside. But now that you've seen the inside of the mall, what do you think of it? I mean, I would say, to me, the inside of the mall is clearly dead. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The outside, though, is a little bit of a different story, but let me know what you think about that in the comments. Alright, so here's the Kohl's. This is where the original anchor store Wilco was located until 1983, when it became GB's. Then it became Value City in 1993, which closed in 2008. And then this Kohl's opened in 2012, along with the Michaels that's directly next to it. And from what I understand, the Kohl's and the Michaels make up what used to be the Woolco, I believe. So the Woolco was a pretty big store, apparently. And then the TJ Maxx opened in 2022. Before that, this was the third entrance to the mall. If you'd entered the mall through here and you walked straight ahead, you would eventually get to the old movie theater. And then this is Dunham Sports, which we saw inside the mall. And this opened in 2018. And this is actually, I believe, the first Dunham Sports I've ever run across. These do not exist in Connecticut or the rest of New England, as far as I know. And there's the Dollar Tree, which, as I mentioned earlier, you cannot enter through the mall. Not sure what's going on with the sidewalk here where it says no trespassing. It's kind of odd. And here, of course, is the Boscov's, which was the original anchor store opening in 1974. And from what I understand, this is not what it originally looked like. This is what it looked like after the 1995 renovation, which added the 65,000 square feet to it. And this entrance here is new as of 1995. Wasn't able to find any pictures, though, of what it looked like before that. As you can probably see, the mall itself is actually fairly large. It just looks small when you're inside it because the interior portion of the mall only seems to take up maybe half the length of the mall, I would guess, maybe even less than that. And there you have it. That was the Fairlane Village Mall in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell. I've got a lot more mall videos coming up, as well as store walkthroughs, flea market videos, and who knows what else. And don't forget, I do have a second YouTube channel, Flea Bitten Side Quests, which currently very few people watch, so any additional views would be greatly appreciated. And if you really want to help the channel, please check out my Patreon account, which is also called Flea Bitten Adventures, where premium members get access to exclusive videos. But once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.